Jackson walked alone through the cold forest of Vylar 9. His boots crunched against blue grass and frost. Strange trees twisted high above him. Their silver leaves made no sound. The wind here was silent. The sky above was cloudy and pale. It was always quiet on this planet. He was here for a research mission. Earth scientists had sent him to collect plant samples. Most of the animals on Vylar 9 were small and afraid of humans. That's what they told him. But today, something felt different. Jackson stopped walking. He looked around. The forest behind him was still. The trees didn't move. But something was watching him. He touched his wrist pad and opened a scanner. No signs of life nearby. It said in a soft voice. He didn't trust it. Then he heard it. A low growl, deep, animal-like, from the shadows. Behind a large tree. Jackson slowly reached for his blaster. But before he could touch it, a shape leapt from the fog. It landed on 2 feet, but its body was not fully human. It was tall, over 6 feet, covered in dark fur. Muscles rippled under her skin. She had sharp claws on her fingers, but her face looked almost human. Golden eyes stared into his. A beastwoman. Jackson didn't move. His heart pounded. He raised his hands. "I don't want trouble," he said. "I'm just a scientist." She didn't speak. She sniffed the air. Her nose twitched. She stepped closer. Jackson took a step back. She growled softly and pointed to his arm. There was a small cut. A thorn had scratched him earlier. Blood dripped slowly from it. Before he could stop her, she grabbed his wrist and sniffed the blood. Her eyes widened. She looked up at him. Her breathing changed. And then she knelt. Her head bowed. Her claws rested on the ground. She spoke, voice rough but clear. "You carry the blood of the first." Jackson froze. "What?" She looked up. Her eyes were wet, not with fear, with awe. "You are of him, the one from the stars. Our origin, our beginning." She placed her palm on her chest. "You are the father of our kind." Jackson stared at her. "Lady, I think you've got the wrong guy." She shook her head. "No mistake. Your scent is old. It carries the mark, the same blood, same spirit." Behind her, more shadows moved. More beast folk stepped from the forest. Males, females, warriors. They looked shocked when they saw Jackson. One of them whispered, "It's true? The father walks again." They knelt too, one by one. Jackson stepped back. No. I'm not anyone's father. I'm just a researcher. From Earth." The beastwoman stood. "Earth, that name is in the old stories. A place of fire and sky. The first came from there. Long ago." Jackson's voice shook. "I'm just human." "You are more than human," she said. "You are the link." Suddenly, one of the males growled. "If he is truly the father, he must see the elder." The beastwoman nodded. "Yes, the elder will know." Before Jackson could argue, they surrounded him, not with weapons, but with respect. One of them offered him a thick cloak. Another handed him a fruit to eat. He refused, confused. He didn't know if he should run, fight, or follow. "Where are you taking me?" Jackson asked. "To the hidden village," the beastwoman said. "To the elder. She will tell us if your blood truly carries the fire." Jackson looked around at the wild forest, the strange beings, the planet he thought was quiet and dead. He thought of his scanner that said no life forms nearby. It had lied. He was not alone. And worse, he might not be just human anymore. As they walked deeper into the woods, he saw their homes hidden in caves, in tall trees, under rocks. It was a whole world, invisible to outsiders. And he was now the center of it. He whispered to himself. "What did I walk into?" The beastwoman walked beside him. She looked at him again. Not with fear, but with hope. You return to us, she said softly. After so long, Jackson didn't answer, but deep inside him, something strange was waking up. Something old. Something not quite human. The beast folk walked in silence, leading Jackson through the thick forest of Vylar 9. The path twisted through strange glowing plants and giant roots. Every now and then, one of them would look back at him staring with quiet eyes, like they were walking beside a legend. Jackson was cold, confused, and still bleeding a little. The beastwoman stayed close to him. She walked upright, proud, her fur catching the soft light of the twin moons above. Her name, she said, was Raka. She pointed to the sky. Long ago, she said, our ancestors came down in fire. They carried the red spark. They changed this world. And then they left. Or died, but their blood stayed. Jackson shook his head. I'm not one of them. I'm not special. Rika's eyes narrowed. Your blood speaks louder than your words. They reached a deep cave hidden under vines and stone. The beast folk moved aside, letting Assia and Jackson pass. The air inside was warm and smelled of burning herbs. A small fire crackled in the center. An old figure sat beyond it. She was very old. Her fur was white. Her eyes were closed. Her skin sagged with time. She didn't look up when they entered. Reka knelt and whispered, Elder Marai, we have brought him. The elder didn't move. Reka stepped back. Then, slowly, the elder raised her head. Her eyes were blind, but glowing slightly blue. She sniffed the air. The elder spoke. He returns. I smell the fire in his blood. Jackson frowned. What fire? I'm just The elder stood with surprising strength. She walked slowly to him, reached up, and touched his face with her clawed hand. She gasped. Then she began to weep. Flame has been sleeping for centuries, she said, but it has not died. She turned to the others. This is the link, the one our books foretold. He holds the DNA of the first. He is the seed from which we grew. Jackson stepped back. I think you've made a mistake. I'm human, from Earth. The elder turned her glowing eyes to him. And the first came from Earth too. But they were not all human. They had something more. Something ... unlocked. That is what you carry. Reka stepped closer. You have the red spark, the same spark that built cities here before our time. That gave us voice, memory, honor. One of the warriors entered and threw a small device onto the ground. It was broken, covered in vines. But Jackson recognized it, a data core from an Earthship, maybe 500 years old. Where did you get this? He asked. The elder nodded. From the caves of flame, buried beneath the rock. Long ago, a ship fell from the sky. We were not ready for it, but it gave us stories, pieces of language, and blood. Jackson picked it up. The Earth symbol was still visible. It was real. Earth had been here before. The elder walked toward a wall, carved with images. She pointed. The pictures showed tall humans standing beside beast folk. One human had a glowing mark on his chest. From his blood, many lines grew beast folk, warriors, children. It was a story of origin. Jackson's hands began to shake. I don't understand. Why me? I wasn't born here. I'm just a guy who collects plants. The elder said, Your blood survived time. Your body may be human, but something inside you remembers. Suddenly, Jackson felt dizzy. His cut still bled slightly. Raka moved to his side and helped him sit. You must rest, she said. The spark is waking inside you. He looked at his wrist. For a second, just a second, his blood glowed faintly red. He blinked. It was gone, but it was there. Tomorrow, the elder said, we will take you to the flame cradle. There The truth will burn clear. Jackson stared into the fire. He didn't know who he was anymore. But he knew one thing. He wasn't leaving this planet until he understood what had been hiding inside him his whole life. The next morning, the sky over Vylar 9 burned soft red, a strange color. Rekka said it was a sign. Jackson woke inside a warm cave. His dreams had been full of strange voices and flashes of light. People who looked like him, but taller, stronger, different. He didn't know who they were, but somehow he felt like he'd been one of them. Rekka stood at the entrance, waiting. "It is time," she said. "Time for what?" "For the cradle of flame, to see the truth of who you are." Jackson followed her. They walked for hours through deep forest paths. The trees grew wider. The roots pulsed faint red like blood, moving under the ground. The deeper they went, the warmer it became. Finally, they reached a stone cliff with a narrow crack. Rie placed her clawed hand on the rock. It responded. The wall glowed and opened, revealing a tunnel. Jackson followed her inside. The path led down deep into the sea. Earth. Symbols glowed along the walls, ancient markings. But to Jackson's shock, some were written in old earth letters. Faded, broken, but he touched one and whispered, "This is English." Shuka looked at him. The first brought words of the stars. We remember little. But the walls do not forget. They entered a massive chamber lit by red crystals. In the center stood a tall pillar of stone, and around it were carvings, murals, stories told in pictures. Rekka stepped forward. "This is our history." Jackson walked slowly along the wall. One carving showed a ship falling from the sky. Another showed tall humans walking among beast folk. Then came war, then fire, then a figure alone, glowing from within, surrounded by beastwomen and warriors. Raika pointed. "That is the first father." Jackson stared. The figure on the wall had short hair, like him. The body glowed red from inside, just like his cut had last night. "This can't be real," Jackson said. "It is," Rekka said. "He gave us life. He awakened our minds, and when he vanished, he said he would return, in flesh reborn." Jackson stepped back. "Are you saying I'm some kind of reincarnation?" "No," the voice came from behind Dot. It was Elder Mirai. She had followed them without a sound. "You are not him. But you are his bloodline, his spark." Jackson stared at his hands. "But I don't feel different." "You will," the elder said. She took a long bone needle and pierced Jackson's finger. His blood dropped onto a round stone on the ground. For a moment, nothing happened. Then fire lit up around the stone. The ground trembled softly. The carvings on the wall began to glow. Deep humming filled the cave. Jackson fell to his knees. He saw flashes in his mind, memories that were not his. Fighting with claws and fists, teaching beast children how to speak, burning forests, a soft voice saying, "Protect them. One day you will return in fire." He gasped. The fire stopped. The elder smiled. "You are the spark. You carry him." Chica placed a hand on his shoulder. "Now they will believe." Jackson stood up, dizzy. "Who won't believe?" Reika looked down. "Some among us think the past should stay buried. They do not want the prophecy fulfilled." "You mean I'm in danger?" The elder nodded. "Your blood brings hope and fear." Jackson clenched his fists. "Then I need answers. Who was this first father? Why did he come here?" The elder walked to the wall and pointed at the last carving. It showed the first father facing a large ship in the sky. Weapons pointed down at the planet. "The first did not crash here," she said. "He ran." Jackson's eyes widened. "From what?" Elder Mirai whispered. "From those who feared what he had become." Silence. Jackson felt his heart pounding. The red glow still shimmered in his skin. Whatever he was, whoever he came from, he was now part of something ancient, and it was waking up. Jackson sat by a quiet fire in the beastfolk village. The stars above Vylar 9 looked sharp and cold. The flames flickered across his face, but inside he was burning with confusion. Had seen too much. The ancient cave, the glowing blood, the carvings of the first father. It all pointed to one thing. He wasn't just a visitor. He was part of their history. Aika sat across from him, sharpening a bone spear. The elder has called the tribe to gather tomorrow, she said. They will decide if the prophecy is true. Jackson nodded. And what if they say it's not? She paused. Then you'll be asked to leave, or worse. Not far from the fire, hidden in the shadows, a tall beast warrior named Kaler watched. Them, his eyes burned with quiet anger. He was strong, respected, and once expected to lead the tribe one day. But now, a soft human had stolen the tribe's attention. He growled softly. This father will break us, he muttered. He brings weakness. Behind him, 2 younger warriors stood. Should we stop him before it's too late? Kaler narrowed his eyes. Yes, but not with open claws. We let him speak. Let the fools believe. Then we strike when all eyes are closed. The next day, the entire tribe gathered in the circle of stones. Elder Marai stood in the center, Jackson beside her. His hands shook, but his voice was steady. I didn't come here to be worshipped, he said, but your own. History your own blood says. I'm connected to you. I don't know how, but I want to understand it. Some nodded. Some murmured with doubt. Then Kaler stepped forward. He was massive, his shoulders broad, his voice deep. We follow strength, Kaler said. Not words. You say the old stories are true, but stories can lie. He turned to the tribe. Did you see him fight? Did you see him hunt? He bleeds like prey. He acts like prey. How can he be our father? Jackson looked at him calmly. I don't want to fight you. Kaler laughed. Of course not. You would lose. But Elder Marai raised her hand. The fire in him is not in his fists. It is in his blood. Kaler sneered. Then let that blood protect him. He walked away, but his eyes promised violence. That night, Jackson tried to rest. Rekka stayed nearby, her spear close. You should not sleep alone, she said. Kaler will strike in darkness. Jackson looked at the sky. Why does he hate me? Rekka sighed. He was next in line to lead. Now the elder bows to you. I didn't ask for this. But the fire chose you anyway. Later that night, Jackson awoke with a sharp pain in his neck. He sat up fast, his head spinning. His body felt heavy. His heart raced. Rekka rushed to him. You've been poisoned. His eyes blurred. The air felt thick. She grabbed a pouch and poured bitter herbs into his mouth. Stay with me. Don't sleep. Jackson's skin glowed faint red, but this time brighter than before. The poison fought to stop his heart. But his blood, the spark fought back. His veins lit up like fire. His body burned. And then he screamed. But it was not a scream of pain. It was a roar. Outside the cave, Kaler and his traders waited for the poison to kill Jackson. But instead, the ground shook. A red light flashed through the trees. Then a shockwave. Kaler staggered. From the cave, Jackson stepped out, his eyes glowing, his chest marked with flame-like patterns. The bloodline had fully awakened. Rika followed behind him, breathless. She looked at him with awe. Lur raised his weapon. You should be dead. Jackson's voice was deeper, now stronger. You tried to kill your own kin. You're not my kin, Kayla growled. Jackson stepped closer. Then let me show you what I really am. Kyler stood tall, his claws ready. His two allies circled Jackson from behind. Their plan had failed, but they still believed they could end this. With brute strength, Jackson looked different now. The fire inside him wasn't just a feeling anymore. It was real. It glowed in his veins. His eyes shined faint red. His skin had symbols on its soft lines, like glowing tattoos, burning just beneath the surface. He didn't know how he was still alive after the poison, but he knew one thing. He wasn't just a man anymore. You should be dead, Kyler growled again, circling. Jackson didn't blink. I was dead, but something brought me back. Kyler lunged first, fast and strong. His claws slashed toward Jackson's chest, but Jackson moved faster than before. He ducked under the strike, spun, and grabbed Kyler's arm. A red flash exploded from his hand. Heat surged out of him. Kyler screamed and fell back, his fur burned where Jackson touched him. The others attacked. Jackson didn't run. He turned toward them. As they leapt through the air, something inside Jackson responded. He raised both hands, and a blast of red energy burst from his chest, like a shockwave of heat and light. Both warriors were thrown backward, crashing into trees. Silence fell over the forest. Rika stepped out from the shadows, watching it all. She didn't look surprised. She looked proud. Elder Marai arrived moments later with the rest of the tribe. They had felt the shockwave. They had come running, and now they saw him standing there, alone, glowing, alive. The elder dropped to her knees. The spark has awakened. Others followed. One by one, the tribe knelt. Even Kyler, burned and beaten, forced himself to bow his head. But Jackson didn't feel like a hero. He looked at his hands, still glowing red. What's happening to me? Elder Marai answered softly. You carry the blood of the first father, but your spark is new. You are the first to awaken in centuries. Why now? Jackson asked. Why me? The planet remembers. She said, the world sees danger coming. You were sent here for more than plants. You were called. Gray stepped forward. There's more. The traitors. They've sent a signal. Off-world. Jackson looked at her. To who? To off-world hunters. Mercenaries, she said. They want to wipe out the tribe before you change everything. Elder Marai nodded. They fear what you've become. And they should. That night, Jackson sat alone on the highest stone. His skin had cooled, but the fire still pulsed in his chest. He could feel every heartbeat like a drum. Via sat beside him. You didn't ask for this, she said. No, he whispered. But I can't run from it either. She looked at him gently. You are no longer just Jackson. You are the flame reborn. You are the blood memory. He looked into the distance, where stars moved unnaturally in the sky. They're coming. He said, yes, Rekka replied. And we will stand with you. 3 enemy ships entered the sky above Vylar-9. They came with speed and purpose, mercenaries from another system. Paid to burn the village, erase the tribe, and silence the spark before it could spread. Didn't care about history. They didn't believe in prophecy. They were there to kill. Jackson stood at the edge of the cliffs, watching the ships arrive. His skin was glowing again, lines of red across his chest and arms, like living fire beneath the skin. His hands were steady. His heart was not afraid. Behind him stood Rekka, Elder Marai, and the whole tribe. Warriors, mothers, children. Number. One ran. No one hid. The tribe had chosen to stand with him. Once, Jackson said, I was just a man with a scatter and a backpack. He turned to face them. But this place, this blood, this fire inside me, none of it was an accident. Greggy nodded. You are the first flame returned. We stand with you. Elder Marai raised her voice. Protect our children. Protect our memory. If we fall, the spark dies with us. The enemy landed fast. 3 ships opened. Out came soldiers in black armor, pulse rifles, warbots, smoke grenades. They didn't speak. They fired first. Jackson stepped forward. The first shot hit his chest, but it melted before touching him. His body was burning, not with pain, but with ancient power. He raised his hand, and the air around him caught fire. A wide wave of red flame rolled forward, blasting the first wave of soldiers into the air. The mercenaries screamed. The beast folk charged. Arca roared, her spear glowing from Jackson's power. Others followed, claws ready, blades sharpened. Battle was chaos, but it was also balance. Metal clashed with bone. Lasers burned, but so did fire. Jackson moved like a storm, not human anymore, but something bigger. He didn't need a weapon. He was the weapon. He slammed the ground. Cracks of red fire shot forward, tossing a warbot into the sky. He pulled heat from the air, turned it into blasts of energy. And when a missile flew toward the village, he caught it mid-air, crushed it in his hand, and dropped it like a stone. The mercenary leader shouted, "What is this thing?" His second officer replied, shaking, "He's not in the system registry. He's something old, something wrong." The leader screamed, "Fall back." But it was too late. Jackson raised both hands. The red symbol on his chest burned bright like a star. He said only one word, "Leave." The flame burst from his body in a final shockwave. It rolled across the battlefield like a living storm, non-lethal, but pure fear. Every invader felt it in their bones. And they ran. The ships rose. They fled the planet. Silence returned. Ash fell like snow. The beast folk stared at him. Then they all knelt. Even Elder Rarai. Rekka stepped closer. "You could have killed them," she said. Jackson looked tired. "They weren't the true enemy. Fear was." She smiled. "And you destroyed it." Later, as the village celebrated, Jackson sat alone beside a small fire. Rekka came to him and sat quietly. "You are no longer just Jackson," she said softly. "I know," he replied. "You're one of us now." He looked up at the night sky. "Maybe I always was." He didn't come to Vylar 9 looking for a war, or a tribe, or a destiny. But he found something more powerful than science, more ancient than memory. He found a purpose. The beast folk would live. Their future would burn bright, and he would stand with them as their protector, their ancestor, their first flame, the end.